Anxiety Monkeys is not filmed before a live studio audience. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Anxiety Monkeys podcast. I'm your host, Rob, and joining me here in the studio is my co-host, Michelle.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today?
Okay, so our first story comes from CNN, and I will post links in the show notes. So Donald Trump Jr. and his girlfriend are apparently plotting to swing dick with the Republican National Convention. They're either looking to take charge themselves or be the power behind someone close to them who would take charge for them. It's like the closing scenes of a horror movie. I'm thinking about Carrie here. The camera closes in on the grave and a hand pops out. The difference being that Carrie was a troubled teen and I feel sympathy for her. These are garbage people from the depths of the fever swamps. And something else I don't understand is why no one seems willing to stand up to these people. Growing up, I wasn't all that much of a news watcher, but whenever Trump came up in the news, it was pretty much always news of a bankruptcy. Even knowing as little as I knew then, I knew that getting into business with him seemed like a bad idea. In fact, one of the jokes I made at one of my open mic appearances was right around the time Trump was being sued for his Trump University shenanigans. And I basically said something along the lines of, look, by this point in his career, if Trump manages to take your money, maybe you deserve to lose it. I mean, banks continue to give him money, politicians are continuing to tie their fortunes to him, and I just don't get it. If one of the elements of being a successful businessman or a politician is risk management, then this guy is pure risk with no upside. And yeah, I've been beating up on Trump himself when we originally started talking about one of his fail sons, but how far does the apple fall from the tree?
And, part of me wonders if Trump has had something to do with this. What if Trump figures if he has Wish.com butthead action figure in charge, that it would make it easier for him to run again in 2024? If it is Trump's idea, then is it possible he has accepted that he has lost this time?
Yeah, you're probably onto something here. Maybe Trump is covering all of his bases. Fighting the election results seems like a way to keep the grift going, to raise money, but that makes me wonder how much of it he'll actually be able to keep while having his fail sons keep the seat warm for him in 2024. And on that cheery note, here's a word from our sponsors. Hey folks, Rob here with an ad break. Now, unlike most of the other ad breaks you'll hear on this show, this one's for my own business. Now, I recognize there are ethical considerations around this, but I can assure you that unlike John R. Brinkley, Google him, it's a funny story, I'm not looking to implant goat testicles into anyone. Instead, Michelle and I do 3D design and printing. We have a couple of different printers and can print small objects like D&D miniatures or larger objects like toys, props, computer parts, or just about anything you can imagine. For more information, feel free to visit our website, pagesprintedplastics.com. That's P-A-I-G-E-S, printedplastics.com. Okay, and for our next segment, we've got Michelle here. You wanted to talk about the possibility of change in a Biden administration. Would you like to take it away?
Sure. First, let me say we definitely got a victory with President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They have quite the road ahead of them to fix the mess left in the wake of Donald Trump and his evil minions. I feel that COVID will be better controlled under Biden and Harris, and our relationship with most allies will become better. But it might take some time for them to trust our government once again, as long as the Republicans still control some form of our government. It also is likely going to be a major battle to get Donald Trump and his kin out of the tarnished White House. Not to mention that I'm thinking that our Cheeto leader, or Zod, whichever name you choose to call him, will likely destroy as much of our sweet democracy as he can before leaving. As many of us know, Trump and his cronies have already tried to destroy our health care, and with the recent Supreme Court appointment, it is possible they may likely achieve the destruction of it, which would be another thing that the Biden-Harris team would need to fix, and fast, due to COVID. Granted, this team is not Donald Trump, and I understand why they had to be elected and had to win. Unfortunately, though, I don't feel that they will fix the things that are truly wrong with our great United States. And that when we get to the end of 2 terms of Biden-Harris, we might be closer to where we were before Trump took office, which isn't that much better. Now, don't get me wrong, and please don't start sending those angry emails. I'm happy Biden and Harris won, and we got Donald Trump out of office. Donald Trump should have never been put in the White House to begin with. But if you think about it, is it possible that our great United States of America has been tarnished because we have become too trustworthy, too complacent with the 2-party system we have here in America?
Trump has already taken steps to embed loyalists deeper into government agencies by taking appointees that would normally require congressional approval and putting them into slightly lower positions where they're government employees instead of political employees. So yeah, rooting them out is going to be akin to tick removal. On the other hand, there is some good news. In questioning from the Supreme Court, early indications seem to suggest that Roberts and Kavanaugh may actually side with liberal justices and decide not to throw out Obamacare. But looking at a Biden-Harris administration, I think they'll bust their asses in responding to COVID-19, and beyond that, I'm sure they'll work hard on trying to get the economy back into some semblance of working order. But beyond that, there are a couple of things that concern me. First, if the Republicans manage to hold their Senate majority, Mitch McConnell will make damn sure nothing gets done. So if you're in Georgia, please, please, please vote in the runoff elections. Second is that Biden's a centrist. I'd expect he's going to want to make things as similar in fashion as they were during the Obama years. So I'd expect that most of the problems we're facing are going to get small solutions thrown at them in the name of bipartisanship. Honestly, it's a pretty bleak outcome. I don't feel terribly optimistic about things. And once again, on that cheery note, here's an ad break. And our final segment comes to us from Snopes. First, can I just say how much I love Snopes? I don't think there's any media outlet that's 100% bias-free, but the folks at Snopes do a pretty decent job of sticking to just the facts. It's not easy, and I probably couldn't do it. And I'd be the first to admit that sometimes in sticking to the facts, they do ignore the larger picture. Anyway, here's the deal. In the aftermath of the election, approximately 11 guerrillian Facebook groups called Stop the Steal sprung up like mushrooms after a rain. At least one of these Facebook groups got shut down for promoting violence. Another one racked up something in the neighborhood of 65,000 users, and then the owners of the Facebook page changed the name from Stop the Steal to Gay Communists for Socialism. As far as trolling goes, I gotta give this an A+. This is right up there with the people who donated to Planned Parenthood on behalf of one of those Christian evangelical grifters, or John Oliver decreeing that Mike Pence's rabbit is gay, publishing a book about it, and then donating the proceeds. But what makes this for me is the boomer contingent asking how to be removed from the group. It's got this big Paul Manafort sending an email asking how to convert his faked bank records into a PDF energy about it.
I just wish the page was left, but like all things good and pure, it's gone. I'm happy to see that Snopes is still in the unbiased area, and in that some way you can say that a troll or hacker got justice for the LGBTQ community from all the crap that has been spewed from Trump and Pence and the Republicans.
Yeah, I just looked, and Gay Communists for Socialism is gone. I don't know whether Facebook yeeted them or if they self-deleted, but the world is a poorer place for their loss. After we're done here, I'll observe a moment of silence. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us this week. Before we head out to brunch, I want to thank the listeners who reached out to us to let us know about the audio issues with our first episode. With any luck, this episode will sound better. I'd be the first to admit that this is our first attempt at creating a podcast, and we're figuring it out as we go along. Thank you for your patience.
Also, if you happen to have any suggestions at all on things you would like to hear, we would love to hear from you. Or if you would like to be on the show, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do. You can find us on most of the major podcast markets. And if you'd review us and give us a 5 stars, that will help others find us. We're on Twitter at Anxietymonkies, Facebook at facebook.com/anxietymonkeys, and you can email us at anxietymonkeys@gmail.com. And finally, if you've got a couple of bucks you can throw our way, you can do that at patreon.com/anxietymonkeys, or go in for a one-time donation at paypal.me/anxietymonkeys.
Until next week, she's Michelle, I'm Rob, and we're your Anxiety Monkeys.